Inside Out 2 movie review. Let's get comfy cozy and talk about Inside Out 2. Now, I made it a girls' day. It was me, my daughter, my niece, her daughter, her mom. We just hung out. We went to one of those fancy theaters where they feed you inside. We just kind of made a Sunday fun day out of it. But was I in for a surprise? I had no idea that Riley is now a teenager going through puberty. And baby, these emotions are way more complex. But since I have a 16-year-old and a 10-year-old pre-pube, or maybe she's pube at this point, I don't know. But we're going through this gamut of emotions, and dealing with my 16-year-old is much different than what I'm experiencing now with my 10-year-old daughter. Yay. And let's face it, these movies are really for adults anyway. So let's dive on into it. The first profound statement I took from the movie is, as adults, or when we grow up, we don't feel as much joy. And when she said that, I thought, oh my gosh, I wanted to rewind it, but I couldn't because I was at the movie theater. And it's such a profound statement because as adults, we have so many responsibilities. We're juggling romantic relationships, we're juggling children, we're juggling jobs, we're juggling coworker relationships, um, neighborly relationships, paying bills, getting the kids to and from school, taking care of homework, taxes and voting, trying to drink water and mind our business and be healthy and worry about insurance. And there are so many things that adults have to always be cognizant of. We are like on a steady grind, just a treadmill of life. And it's hard to find pockets of joy because we're so busy worrying about the next thing and the next thing and the next thing and the thing 10 things down. Like, I pay my mortgage on the 1st, and then on the 14th they're like, hey, it's time to pay your mortgage again. Like, wait a minute, I just, oh my god, what, can you let me breathe? So as adults, it is harder to find pockets of joy, but when we find them, we should hold on to them. We need to savor them and settle in. The second point that stood out to me was anxiety can come out of nowhere and paralyze you. Anxiety literally showed up in the movie like, hey, how you doing? Out of nowhere. The other emotions were like, who are you and where did you come from? Being cognizant of the fact that anxiety or sadness or depression or any other not so happy emotion can come out of nowhere, we need to have ways to handle it, which brings my next point: reinforcements, positive reinforcements. So, as adults, some people do shopping to cheer themselves up. Some people drink a little drinky drink to take their mind off things. Some people jump into the alphabets, the THC, the CBD, whatever it is. But as someone who suffers with depression, I have found the need for positive reinforcements, or as I call them in my writing, mood boosters. So these are things that you can do to kind of tip your emotional scale, get you back to center. And that's exercise, dancing, getting on the phone with somebody who's going to make you laugh, changing your scenery if you can. Like, I mean, you may not be able to afford a 4-day vacation to an island, but you can afford a staycation in the city, or you can afford to call up a friend and be like, hey, let's go for drinks, doing, or ice cream, but doing something positive, redecorating your house, cleaning up a room in your house, just movement, any kind of thing to take your mind off of what is ailing you. Now, it's not going to change overnight. Your mood is not going to change instantly. But if you think about the mental capacity and the mental effort it takes to do something, like for instance, redecorating my living room, the amount of time it took me to set up a Pinterest board, pick out colors, pick out samples of paint, go to Home Depot, look at different fixtures, try to find a new chandelier, I call it shandy, different accoutrements, Carla? Accoutrements? Decorations for the room. Like, the amount of time and effort it took to do that, by the time my living room came together, I was in a totally different mental space. Positive reinforcements. 4. Deprecating thoughts can become beliefs. I am not good enough is something Riley kept thinking over and over and over to herself, to the point where she started to believe it and it impacted her performance. How often have you told yourself you aren't good enough? This is not going to happen. I'm not going to get the job. I'm not going to get called back for the part. He doesn't want me. she's going to leave me. Like, how often have you talked yourself out of a blessing or talked yourself out of a dream? Even as adults, we suffer with deprecating beliefs that become and we house them, we internalize them to the point where we sabotage ourselves. Pump the brakes on that. When you have a negative thought, flip it. Oh my gosh, I'm not good enough. Yes, I am. I am qualified. I have what it takes. I've done the work. I've studied for the test. Talk yourself up for every negative belief, counter it with a positive belief. When your children come to you with a negative belief, have them do the same. Have them turn it around for themselves. You turning it around for them is great, but having them or arming them with the ability to turn it around themselves means they'll be able to do it even when you're not around. 5. One emotion does not dictate who you are. I suffer with depression. I am not depressed. I suffer with depression. I am also a mother. I'm a sister. I'm a daughter. I am a writer. I'm a publisher. Me being depressed has nothing to do with the person who I am. It's just an emotion I experience. Thank God Joy grabbed anxiety and said, "Let Riley go." And anxiety was like, you have to be able to talk yourself back into a positive mindset. Listening to music, 90s R&B or 90s hip hop will do it for me. Getting me and my daughter dancing to music in the living room, cooking with one of my kids, listening to a podcast. You have to be able to get yourself back to center without letting one single emotion dictate who you are. It's okay to be honest with your feelings when people ask. Somebody asked me how I was doing. Recently, actually, I lost a very, very good friend of mine, and somebody could see, I guess, the scowl of sadness on my face. And she's like, "Carla, are you okay?" And instead of saying, "Yes, I am," I said, "No, I'm not okay. I'm hurting." She sat down next to me and said, "Is it okay if I hug you?" And I said, "I may cry if you do." And she said, "That's okay." She sat next to me gingerly and hugged me and just let me fall into her. And she couldn't take my heartbreak away, but it felt good to be able to share that something was wrong and know that somebody was there for me to hold me and give me some form of comfort. When people ask you how you're doing, don't hold it in. Don't be stuck in that, "Oh, nobody cares about me. Nobody can change how your life is going." They may not be able to change your life, but they may be able to change your mindset by speaking life into you and giving you a positive way to look at things. We are multifaceted people. To feel these emotions means we are human and it means we are alive. You can feel all of these emotions at once. You can feel none of them or even just one. But feeling is what makes us human. Now, allow yourself to feel and allow others to feel and be safe with you. And then go see Inside Out 2.